All right, welcome to lesson 107 on slope. Go ahead and write the title of the lesson above your paper that you glued in your notebook. With slope, what I want you to see, I've got two mountains here, right? So look, one's much taller and steeper than the other one, and the other one's kind of flat. So if you were a pro skier, which mountain would you want to ski down? And what about if you are an old, frail grandmother? Which mountain would she want to ski down if she were to ski at all? Pro skiers obviously are going to go for this one. Grandmothers, if they don't go for nothing, they're going to go for this one because this mountain is a lot steeper. It has a higher slant. This one is much less steep. So really with steepness, what we're going to be talking is kind of the ratio of the height to the width. Again, over here, if I've got that distance, my height, the ratio of the height to the length is much shorter than it is over here. So we've got kind of a horizontal distance and we have a vertical distance. With slope, that's what we're going to be measuring. All right, so slope describes the slant of a line, or you could also just say how steep the line is. It describes the steepness of the line. Instead of saying vertical distance and horizontal distance, it's a lot easier when we describe it with the words rise and run. Slope is equal to the rise over the run. Rise meaning the vertical distance up and down, run meaning the horizontal distance left and right. This is a really key idea. You're going to see this in algebra all the time. It has a lot to do with graphing lines. So slope is equal to the rise over the run. We're going to look at a line and we're going to calculate the slope using the formula rise over run. So go ahead and look at your two examples of lines. The book did a really nice job of putting some nice little dots right here, here, and here for you. They won't always do that, and you're going to have to identify some points on the line on your own. Make sure that you pick points that go through some of the grid lines. For example, this is the point 4, 3. You can't pick this point right here because we can't tell exactly what that is. You need to pick points that go through grid lines. So they pick those points for you. We're going to use those points to calculate the rise over the run. You can go from any one point to another. I'm going to start here and I'm going to say, okay, well, I'm going to rise up 3 and run over 2 in order to get to my next point. So this was a rise of positive 3. I went up positive 3 and I went to the right positive 2. So when I calculate my slope, my rise was 3, my run was 2. So my slope is 3 over 2. We don't turn it to a mixed number with slope because we want to keep it as the ratio of the rise to the run. So we need just two numbers in there. If you had started at this point and gone up, you would have gone up 3 and over 2 again. That would have worked. If you had started at the bottom point and gone to the top one, you would have gone up 6 over 4, which guess what? Reduces to 3 over 2. So from any point to another one, you're going to get 3 over 2 as your slope. So same thing over here. We're going to pick one point and go up to the other. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to go up 1. So I have a slope of positive 1, or a rise, sorry, of positive 1. And then I'm going to the left 2, which gives me negative 2. So I have 1 over negative 2 as my rise over run, which looks kind of odd to have the negative off in the denominator, so I'm going to call that negative 1/2. So I have a slope of negative 1/2. Notice that my line is going down. If you read it from left to right, this is a downward slope, which is another indicator of a negative value. For the first one, if I read it from left to right, I'm going up, which gives me a positive slope. And that kind of gives us a indication of the trends of the lines. So here I have 4 different lines. This one is going up, so even without actually calculating the slope, I know that this is a positive. Ooh, and I should be able to spell that correctly. I can't talk and write at the same time, apparently. Sorry. There we go, a positive slope. This one's going down, so this is a negative slope. All right, the other two, a horizontal line and a vertical line. Horizontal line. Let's go ahead and actually calculate it because we haven't looked at one like that. Let's say I pick this point and this point. So if I start here, I'm going to go to the right 4, but I didn't rise up or down at all. So I had a 0/4 slope. Well, that just equals 0. Any horizontal line is going to have a slope of 0. If I had picked this point and gone over, I would have had 0/5. If I had picked a point way over here, I would have had 0/8 maybe. It always is going to simplify back down to 0. Any horizontal line will be a 0 slope. Well, let's use the same logic on this one. If I pick those 2 points, I'm going to rise up 4, but I will not run at all, so I'd have 4/0. Well, if you remember math, we cannot divide by 0. That is not possible in math. So this slope, we would say, cannot be determined. You'll also sometimes see it described as an undefined slope. Your book, though, uses the term cannot be determined. So goes up, it's positive, goes down, it's negative. Side to side is 0. Up and down, vertical lines, our slope cannot be determined. All right, go ahead and it's time to pause the video. I just want you to calculate the slope on the next 4 equations, or the next 4 lines. Calculate your rise over your run. Simplify it down if you need. Go ahead and pause it. All right, you should have paused your video and done the 4 problems. I'm going to go on to the next page. You may check your answers. All right, check. You should have -2, 0, 1/3, and -2/3 as your slope. If you do not have those for some reason, I'm going to go through and do those problems. All right, so on the first one, you need to pick 2 points that the line goes through. So I'm going to pick those 2 points, but really any of these points would be fine. So I'm going to go up and down first, so I have to go down, and then I have to go to the right. So down is -2, and I went to the right 1, which gives me a slope of -2. On this one, any horizontal line is going to be a 0 slope. If you went ahead and calculated it, pick 2 points, and I cannot rise at all, and my run on this one would be 3. Well, that simplifies down to 0. On this one, you need to pick some points, so maybe here and here and here and here. Any of those will work. I'm going to start at the bottom. I go rise 1 and run 1, 2, 3. So I have a rise of 1 and a run of 3. Gives me a 1/3 slope, and it is going up, so it's positive. On this one, let's go ahead and pick some points. So here, 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 here. All right, I'm going to pick this point to start at. Well, I could go up, and so that would be +2, and then I would be going left 3, which is a negative. So I have 2/-3, which again, it looks a little weird to have a negative in the denominator, so I'm just going to call that -2/3. You could have also gone the other direction. So if I start at this point, I would go down to right 3. Well, that would be -2/+3, which again would end up with -2/3. And that is slope.